Welcome to CEO Insights. I'm Marilyn de Guzman with investingnews.com. Lancaster Resources, a lithium exploration company based in Vancouver, has made progress in its permit application for drilling at its Alkali Flat lithium project with the receipt of a technically complete letter from the New Mexico Mining and Minerals Division. Penny White, President and CEO of Lancaster Resources, joins me now to discuss this recent development from the company. Hi, Penny.
Hi, Marilyn. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for joining me today. So after the receipt of that technically complete letter from the regulators about the Alkali Flat project, what are the next steps for that?
We have a letter of credit for around 100,000 Canadian that we post that we have to do through the bank. And then next steps are we basically drill our exploratory well. So we've narrowed it down to a couple drilling companies. We're just trying to figure out the exact date. But hopefully we can get started within the next 30 to 60 days. So basically we'll be doing our exploratory well, which is really just one drill well, one hole that will go down about 700 meters. And what we'll be able to do is explore the two really interesting targets that we've delineated through all of our exploratory work to date. And one is about 100 meters down, so not far from the surface. It's a 100-meter thick aquifer, looks like it's filled with brine, highly anomalous resistivity, meaning that there's a lot of salt and likely a lot of lithium, or at least we hope a lot of lithium. The other target is down a little deeper. It's around 600, between maybe 500 to 600, even to 700 meters deep. And it's quite wide, quite thick, over 200 meters it looks like. And that one also is highly anomalous for resistivity. So again, likely filled with lithium brine.
Okay. So for our investor community who might not be that familiar with the Alkali Flat lithium brine project, can you just provide sort of an overview of what makes it a compelling lithium asset?
Sure. We picked that asset up about 2 years ago. And what was most compelling to me about the asset is all of the research that had been done by the prospector, Rodney Blakestad. And Rodney Blakestad's very, very smart geologist. In fact, he has over 40 discoveries that he's been involved in. So that's pretty significant. Most of his past work has been in gold in Alaska. He was one of the sort of the pioneers in the 70s to go there and make some of the first discoveries. And he discovered Fort Knox, which is $10 billion worth of gold. So probably the biggest deposit in Alaska that's still producing today. And his approach has always been to do an extensive amount of research before even putting boots on the ground, before doing any exploration, sort of looking at the publicly available data, doing a really good analysis of the geology and developing, thesis and kind of, a plan for exploration so that when you go out there and you do your geochem work, it's very effective. And that's basically what happened when he turned his mind to lithium about 5 years ago. So he looked into the USGS published data that says these are the things that every successful producing lithium brine have in common. And he looked all across the southwestern United States and compared it to the NIR data that was published that had been reanalyzed to look for lithium concentrations in the sediments all the way across America. What he found was a really interesting target in southwest New Mexico, which turns out to be the Alkali Flat. And so it has everything that you would expect you'd want to see in a really big, commercially viable brine deposit. And it also had the second highest concentration of brine in the surface sediment samples. So that was around 140. We took over the project and actually staked a bigger area. So we covered the entire lake bed. So it's the deepest part of that closed basin. And we did additional sampling, got even better lithium values. So between 69 and 148 parts per million was the concentration of the lithium on the surface. And that's pretty high because a lot of our geological team says when you go down, it should be much higher. To be economical as a lithium brine, even 150, which is kind of around what we already have, would be economical. But we're really excited to see if it's going to be a lot higher than that when we drill.
So what's over the short and the long term, I guess, what's the exploration strategy for that project?
Well, we'll do our first exploratory well. As soon as we've completed that, it takes about 2 weeks, really. And once we've completed that, we'll be sending the samples to the lab, and we'll be getting back a lot of data that will be useful in sort of determining the economic viability. But the most exciting part of that data, in my opinion, will be the concentration of the lithium in the brine. So we'll be looking at other things such as the magnesium ions and the calcium, the porosity of the rock, just core samples. There'll be some clay there too, but our big interest is in the brine, because I think ultimately that is the type of lithium that the car companies are after. They're looking for a lithium source that's environmentally friendly, and the potential for development at Alkali Flat is really exciting because you can use DLE technology most likely. So you're not taking out the brine and evaporating it like they do in the salars of South America, but you're actually using the latest technologies to extract the lithium out of the water and then put the water back. So it's very little damage or harm to the environment. In fact, our goal is to be basically have a production facility that is net zero. It has a net zero carbon effect on the environment, which we think we can do through a combination of using the latest DLE technology, which is minimally invasive, using the same kind of production wells that they have at Clayton Valley, which has been the largest source of producing lithium in North America to date, and also using a really carbon-friendly source of energy, such as solar. So in New Mexico, that's one of the best places to set up a solar facility. There's lots of them around us. There's also hydrothermal sources as well. So there's a lot of opportunity to create a production facility for lithium that really is not damaging to the environment, which is really exciting. So as we move forward, we're looking to develop this project with that in mind.
So you recently announced as well that you've acquired Piney Lake, which is a gold project. What are the plans for this project?
Yes, it's very exciting. We recently staked about 5,600 acres, which is around 22 square kilometers in Saskatchewan. And basically that really enriches our portfolio because it is adding to our portfolio a very exciting gold prospect in a historically gold-rich region. There is a Saskatchewan gold mine. The largest gold mine actually in Saskatchewan is just 40 kilometers away. That's the SSR-CV mine. And there's some really great findings of gold very close to our property. So about 4 kilometers north on a north-south trend, there's been samples of 41 grams per ton. And really close to our property, we've seen samples between 2.8 grams per ton to 8.5 grams per ton, just even 200 meters away. And that's on a north-south trend that looks like it's coming right onto our property. So our initial exploration for that will involve seeing if that trend continues. And so, we have some exciting things planned in terms of the exploration there.
Certainly a good timely acquisition given what's happening in the gold market right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, we love gold.
Well, thanks again, Penny, for joining me and giving us some updates about the company.
Marilyn, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
And thanks everyone for watching. Join us again next time for another edition of CEO Insights. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates and interviews. See you next time.